Imagine for a moment that you are driving a brand new supercar through the sunny streets of Dubai. The windows are down, the road is clear, and your phone buzzes in your pocket. You glance at it and see another sale notification, then another. Money entering your bank account while you are not packing boxes, answering angry customers, or standing in a warehouse. This is the picture many young YouTubers paint when they talk about print on demand. But let me be very honest with you from the start. If you need big promises and flashy lifestyles just to pay attention, then business is probably not for you. Real money is built quietly, patiently, and with systems, not hype. What I will promise you is this. By the end of this series, you will fully understand how print on demand works, why it works, and exactly what you need to do to start it with almost no money. No guessing, no confusion, no fluff. So first, let's answer the most important question. What is print on demand? Print on demand is a business model where products are created only after a customer places an order. You don't buy inventory in advance. You don't store products. You don't ship anything yourself. Instead, you partner with a print provider. When a customer buys from your store, the provider prints your design onto the product and ships it directly to the customer. You keep the difference between what the customer paid and what the supplier charged. That's it. Now compare this to a traditional business. If you wanted to start a clothing brand the old-fashioned way, you would need to order hundreds or even thousands of items up front. That means spending money before you even know if anyone wants what you're selling. And if you get it wrong, you're stuck with piles of unsold stock. Print on demand removes that risk. You only pay after you make a sale. This is why it's such a powerful model for beginners. You can start without a factory, without staff, and without a warehouse. All you really need is a laptop and an internet connection. And print on demand isn't limited to t-shirts. You can sell hoodies, posters, wall art, phone cases, bags, notebooks, cushions, and more. Anything that can be printed can be sold using this model. But here's where most people misunderstand it. Print on demand is not passive income from day one. Yes, it can become semi-passive once systems are in place. But at the beginning, it requires effort, learning, and patience. Anyone who tells you otherwise is lying or trying to sell you a course. The reason this business model still works is because of scale. You can sell one product to one person, or the same product to thousands of people across different countries without changing your workload significantly. That kind of leverage simply didn't exist years ago. The data backs this up. The global print-on-demand market is currently worth nearly $6 billion, and it's projected to grow to more than $40 billion by 2031. That kind of growth doesn't happen in a dead industry. However, growth alone does not guarantee success. I've been in business for over 3 decades, and I've seen extremely intelligent people fail, not because they weren't smart, but because they entered the wrong markets or followed trends without understanding the fundamentals. Print on demand rewards people who understand markets, margins, and systems. To succeed, you need 5 core elements. First, a winning product. Second, a strong design that people actually want to buy. Third, a place to sell that brings traffic. Fourth, a reliable supplier that doesn't destroy your reputation. And fifth, customers who are willing to pay. Miss even one of these, and the business struggles. The good news is that all 5 are learnable skills. That's why this series exists. If you're new here, my name is Mark. I've spent over 35 years building businesses, failing, learning, and eventually succeeding. I didn't grow up with money, and nothing was handed to me. Everything I'm teaching you here comes from real experience, not theory. This is not a get-rich-quick series. This is a build-it-properly series. And in the next episode, we'll tackle the question that decides whether you succeed or fail before you even start. How do you find a winning print-on-demand product without guessing, copying blindly, or wasting months on the wrong idea? That's where the real game begins. How to find a winning print-on-demand product without guessing. If there is one decision that will decide whether your print-on-demand business succeeds or completely fails, it's this one. Choosing the right product. You can have the best website, the best ads, and the best supplier in the world, but if your product doesn't sell, none of it matters. This is where most beginners go wrong, and unfortunately, this mistake often costs them months of wasted time. From my experience, a winning print-on-demand product always comes down to 2 things: the product category itself, and the design that goes on that product. Most beginners think all product categories are equal. They're not. You might look at print-on-demand and think, why not sell everything? T-shirts, hoodies, mugs, posters, phone cases, bags, all with the same design. On paper, that sounds smart. In reality, It's one of the fastest ways to fail. When you're starting out, your designs won't be amazing. That's normal. But if you spread those average designs across multiple product types, you're multiplying your chances of getting zero sales. Instead, you want to focus all your attention on one single product category. Master one product first, then expand later. I personally believe it's far better to become excellent at selling one product than mediocre at selling 10. Now let's eliminate some options. Cards and calendars are a bad idea for beginners because they're extremely seasonal. You don't want a business that only sells during certain months of the year. You want something evergreen, something people buy all year round. Mugs, phone cases, and stationery can work, but they usually sell at low prices. That means thin profit margins. You're forced to sell huge volumes just to make decent money, which is difficult when you're starting. Profit margins matter more than people realize. If you're working hard but only keeping 5 to 10% of each sale, you'll burn out quickly. My personal minimum target is 20 to 30% profit margin. Anything lower and you're building stress, not freedom. This is why clothing and wall art stand out. They have something called perceived value. You can price them higher without customers questioning it, as long as the design connects with them emotionally. Designer brands and modern artists have used this strategy for decades. I've sold wall art for close to $50 per piece, with a 25% margin, and that's after all fees and shipping costs. It's very easy for profits to disappear if you're not careful, so product choice matters. For this series, let's focus on clothing, because it's versatile, evergreen, and scalable. Now here's the key question. What kind of clothing actually sells? The honest answer is simple. Nobody cares about blank clothes. People buy clothing because it represents something about them, their personality, their job, their humor, their beliefs, or their interests. Your job is to attach one of those identities to the product. But before you get excited, there's a very important warning. Never use trademarks. Movies, TV shows, famous characters, brand names, or popular phrases can get you into serious trouble. Even one trademarked word can get your store banned or your listings removed. Always check trademarks, even if the phrase seems harmless. So if you can't use famous brands or characters, what do? This is where most beginners make another mistake. They try to be original. In school, we're taught not to copy. In business, that advice will ruin you. Being too original is one of the biggest traps beginners fall into. They spend weeks creating something completely new, only to discover nobody wants it. In most cases, gaps in the market exist because there is no demand. The smarter approach is research. You don't invent demand. You identify it. This is why Etsy is one of the best research tools in the world for print on demand. All the sales data is public. You can literally see what people are already buying. Let's say you want to sell t-shirts. You search for women's t-shirts and sort by top customer reviews. Reviews are important because they indicate consistent sales over time, not just a lucky week. You'll immediately notice something interesting. Patterns, certain styles repeat, certain phrases repeat, certain layouts repeat. That's not an accident. You're not looking to copy designs. You're looking to understand why they sell. If a shirt has 130 reviews, a rough rule of thumb is to multiply that by 10. That means around 1,300 sales. If the shirt sells for $30, that's nearly $40,000 in revenue from one design. Simple designs sell, and you can create many of them. Think of it like making a cocktail. You take inspiration from multiple places. Maybe the font from one design, the color scheme from another, and the layout from a third. You combine proven ingredients into something new and unique. This way, you reduce risk while still staying original enough to avoid problems. Most people fail at this stage because they guess instead of researching. If you do the opposite, you immediately put yourself ahead of the majority. In the next episode, we'll tackle another major roadblock: design creation. What if you're not creative? What if you can't design? What if you don't want to spend a fortune? Don't worry, there are simple solutions. And that's exactly what we'll cover next. One of the biggest excuses people use when starting print on demand is this: I have ideas, but I'm not a designer. If that sounds like you, relax, because design skill is not what separates successful sellers from failed ones. In fact, some of the highest selling print on demand products use the simplest designs imaginable. The real skill isn't artistic talent. The real skill is understanding what sells. Most beginners overthink this stage. They believe designs need to be complex, detailed, and flashy. In reality, complexity often hurts sales. Clean, simple, and emotionally relevant designs consistently outperform over-designed ones. Before we talk about tools, let's get something clear. Your design is not meant to impress other designers. It's meant to connect with a specific buyer. That buyer is scrolling quickly, making emotional decisions, and asking one question in their head: is this for me? If your design answers that question clearly, it sells. Now let us talk about 4 proven ways to create print-on-demand designs, even if you have zero design experience. Method 1. Canva, best for beginners. Canva is one of the most underrated tools in print-on-demand. It's free, easy to use, and more powerful than most people realize. With Canva you can create text-based designs, use clean fonts, align elements properly, export designs with transparent backgrounds. A great beginner strategy is using short emotional phrases. Funny quotes, relatable statements, or niche-specific humor work extremely well. For example, instead of trying to create a complex illustration, you might use a simple phrase paired with a strong font and balanced layout. Many top sellers make thousands per month using nothing more than text designs. The key is not originality, it's clarity. Once your design is finished, you simply download it with a transparent background and it's ready to upload to your print provider. Method 2. Buying templates or designs. Another smart approach is buying ready-made designs or templates. Many beginners feel guilty about this, but there's nothing wrong with it. Businesses pay for assets all the time. What matters is that you have the rights to use them commercially. A common technique is using Google's image search to find the original source of a design you like. Often, you'll discover that the creator sells the editable file for a small fee. This saves time and allows you to focus on testing products instead of struggling with design software. Remember, speed matters at the beginning. Method 3. AI design tools. The game changer AI has completely changed print-on-demand design. One of the best tools for this is Mid. For a small monthly cost, you can generate professional quality designs using text prompts. And most importantly, you're allowed to use these designs commercially. You don't need to be technical. You simply describe what you want. For example, minimalist butterfly silhouettes in motion, soft pastel colors, clean background. Within seconds, you get multiple design options. You can regenerate variations, upscale the ones you like, and then remove the background using a simple tool. The result looks like something created by a professional illustrator. This is especially powerful for nature designs, abstract art, animal themes, aesthetic visuals. AI doesn't replace creativity, it amplifies it. Method 4. Hiring professional designers. If you have a small budget, hiring designers from platforms like Fiverr or Upwork can work very well. The most important part here is the brief. Vague instructions produce bad results. Clear instructions produce great ones. Instead of saying, "Design me a cool shirt," explain who the target audience is, what style you want, examples of designs you like, colors, fonts, and mood. The clearer you are, the better the result. Now here's something most people don't talk about. You should never rely on one design. Print on demand is a numbers game. You create multiple designs, list them, and let the market decide. Some will fail, some will perform average. A few will become winners. Those winners pay for everything else. This is why quantity matters, but only after quality basics are in place. One more important rule: never copy directly. You can take inspiration, but copying will get your store shut down. Think of your designs as combinations of proven elements, not replicas. Font from one place, layout from another, color scheme from somewhere else. That's how you stay safe and competitive. Once your designs are ready, the next critical step is choosing the right print-on-demand supplier. Because even the best design in the world will fail if the product quality is poor or shipping is slow. And that's exactly what we'll cover in the next episode. Best print-on-demand suppliers for beginners. Avoid these costly mistakes at this stage. You already understand print-on-demand. You know how to find winning products, and you know how to create designs that actually sell. Now we move to one of the most important decisions you'll make in this business: choosing the right print-on-demand supplier. Get this wrong, and everything else falls apart. You could have the best design, the perfect niche, and strong demand, but if your supplier messes up orders, ships slowly, or delivers poor quality, your business will fail. Refunds will eat your profits, bad reviews will kill your store, and customers will never return. Most beginners make the same mistake here. They choose the cheapest supplier. That sounds logical at first, but in reality, it's one of the fastest ways to destroy your brand. Cheap usually means poor print quality, thin materials, long shipping times, lost packages, bad customer service, and when problems happen, you are the one who pays for it. A simple rule one live by is this: buy nice or buy twice. Paying slightly more for quality almost always saves money in the long run. Now let's talk about what actually matters when choosing a print-on-demand supplier. What makes a good print-on-demand supplier? There are 5 things you should look for. 1. Product quality. Your product must feel good in the customer's hands. Thin fabric, faded prints, or poor stitching will lead to refunds and complaints. 2. Fast shipping. Modern customers expect speed. If shipping takes 3 to 4 weeks, you'll lose trust instantly. 3. Global production. The best suppliers print products close to the customer. This reduces shipping time and customs issues. 4. Reliable customer support. When something goes wrong, and it will, you need fast support. 5. Easy integration. Your supplier should connect smoothly with Etsy or Shopify, so orders are automated. Now let me tell you about one supplier I personally tested and was genuinely impressed with. Why Gelato is excellent for beginners. Gelato is one of the most beginner-friendly print-on-demand platforms available. What makes Gelato special is its global production network. They have production facilities in over 30 countries, which means more than 90% of orders are produced in the same country as the customer. That's a massive advantage. Faster shipping means happier customers, fewer refunds, and better reviews. The print quality is also excellent. I ordered samples myself, not to sell, but just to test quality, and I ended up keeping them because they were that good. Gelato supports t-shirts and clothing, wall art and posters, mugs and accessories, stationery for beginners. Clothing and wall art usually offer the best profit margins. Direct-to-garment versus embroidery. When creating clothing products, you'll usually see 2 main options. Direct-to-garment DTG is the most common. It's cheaper, faster, and perfect for graphic or text-based designs. Embroidery looks premium, but it costs more. This is best saved for designs that really benefit from a stitched look. A mistake beginners make is choosing embroidery just because it sounds fancy. If customers don't clearly see the value, they won't pay the higher price. Higher costs only make sense if you can justify a higher selling price. Why you don't need money up front? Here's the good news. Most print-on-demand suppliers only charge you after you make a sale. That means no inventory, no upfront stock, no financial risk when a customer orders. You pay the supplier, they print the item, and ship it directly to the customer. This is why print-on-demand is one of the safest business models for beginners. Uploading your first product. Simple process. Uploading products is surprisingly easy. You select the product type, upload your design, choose colors and sizes, and set your price. That's it. You don't need to overcomplicate things. Start with one product type, limited color options, clear, simple designs. Too many options can overwhelm customers and reduce conversions. Profit margins matter more than revenue. This is where many people fool themselves. They brag about revenue, but ignore profit. How to get traffic and sales on print-on-demand without wasting money at this point. You understand the full print-on-demand system. You know how to choose products. You know how to design them. You know which suppliers to use. You know where to sell. Now we reach the final and most important piece of the puzzle: traffic. Because the truth is simple. No traffic means no sales. And this is where most beginners either give up or go broke. They jump straight into paid ads without understanding the basics, burn money, get discouraged, and quit. But it doesn't have to be that way. Let's break this down properly. The biggest traffic myth, the biggest myth in online business is this: you need ads to make money. You don't. Ads are a scaling tool, not a starting tool. If you don't know whether a product sells organically, ads will only help you lose money faster. This is why platforms like Etsy are so powerful for beginners. They allow you to get organic traffic first. Step 1. Master organic traffic first. Organic traffic means people find your product naturally, without you paying for ads. On Etsy, organic traffic comes from search results, suggested products, similar item sections. Your goal is to help Etsy understand who your product is for. You do that through titles, tags, descriptions, categories. This is called listing optimization. How to optimize for Etsy search. Simply don't overcomplicate this. Here is a simple rule. One product equals one main keyword. For example, funny entrepreneur t-shirt. Your main keyword should appear in the beginning of the title, at least one tag, naturally in the description. Avoid keyword stuffing. Write for humans first, algorithms second. Etsy is smart enough to understand context, why consistency beats perfection. Many beginners upload one product, wait a week, see no sales, and quit. That's not how this works. Etsy rewards active sellers. That means Uploading consistently, updating listings, testing new designs. Even one new product every few days is enough. Momentum matters. Think long-term, not viral overnight success. Step 2. Social media, the smart way. You don't need to be everywhere. In fact, trying to post on every platform usually leads to burnout. Choose one. TikTok, Instagram Reels, YouTube short-form content works best for print on demand. Why? Because it's visual, simple, and emotional. Content ideas that actually work. You don't need fancy videos. Some of the best performing content includes product mock-ups with trending sounds. This shirt is for people who behind-the-scenes design, creation, customer style, lifestyle, visuals. Relatable text on screen. Your goal is not to sell aggressively. Your goal is to make people feel seen. If they relate, they clicked. Step 3. When and how to use paid ads only. Use paid ads when you already have organic sales. You know your winning product. You understand your audience. Ads fix bad products. They amplify good ones. Start small. Test with low budgets. Watch data, not emotions. Kill losers fast. Scale winners slowly. The most important metric, beginners ignore. Everyone looks at sales. Smart sellers look at conversion rate. If people are clicking but not buying, something is wrong. Price too high. Design unclear. Description weak. Mockups poor. Fix the problem before sending more traffic. The long-term mindset. Print on demand is not a get-rich-quick scheme, but it is a scalable system. One design can sell. Today, next month, next year. You're building assets. Most people fail because they quit too early, not because the model doesn't work. Final advice: this matters. If you remember only one thing from this entire series, remember this: progress beats perfection. You don't need the best designs. You don't need the best store. You don't need the best tools. You need action, consistency, patience. Those 3 things beat talent every time. You're ready now. You now have a proven business model, clear steps, low risk, unlimited scalability. The only question left is, will you actually do it? Because the opportunity is real, but only for those who move.